polar bears. Big, white, furry mobs that first made their appearance in the Frostburn update of 1.10. Although they may appear very cuddly, up close they won't hesitate to desperately sink their teeth into almost any type of meal. Is there much to know of these adorable mobs? Well, let's find out. Polar bears can exist in 3 different states: passive, neutral, and hostile. Baby polar bears are constantly passive, and adult polar bears are neutral unless provoked. To provoke an adult polar bear, one has to either be damaged from a near enough range, or if a player walks a little too close to their cubs for too long, forcing the adult polar bear to become hostile, risking their own life to protect their young. Attacking a cub will also provoke the adult as well. Backing off a far enough distance will cause them to stop attacking and cautiously guard their cub. On easy difficulty, polar bears will deal 2 hearts of damage per hit, on normal, 3 hearts, and on hard, a decent 4.5 hearts of damage. Despite being super furry, they actually wield a decent amount of health, 15 hearts to be exact. If you're keen on tracking one down, they can be found in quite the handful of cold biomes. These biomes include ice plains, ice mountains, and ice spikes biomes, as well as the frozen deep and regular ocean biomes from the aquatic update. Killing a cub rewards no items or experience, but when an adult polar bear is killed, they have a good chance to drop up to 2 raw cod and a small chance to drop up to 2 raw salmon. Of course, a small amount of experience will drop as well. Additionally, if a cub is attacked, all nearby adults within approximately a 40 block radius will instantly become hostile regardless of the difficulty setting. This also applies to other mobs that accidentally trigger their defensive hostility. Attacking an adult won't cause other adults to instantly come to its aid unless you're playing on the Bedrock edition of Minecraft. However, the area of this adult's aggro range decreases to an approximate 20 block radius. But on all editions, if polar bears see other polar bears acting hostile nearby, they too will become hostile and begin to roll with the squad. If you find yourself in a regrettable situation with an adult polar bear, swimming away won't necessarily mean you're out of the water. I'm hilarious just yet, as they can swim just as fast as a player, sometimes making them a challenge to escape from. If you're planning on capturing polar bears, note that a cub's growth cannot be sped up. It's also worth knowing that polar bears cannot be forcefully bred. Despite an adult's large size, they can indeed sit in boats. I know, adorable, and you can still steer the boats with the polar bear uncomfortably laying across the back. Unlike pigs, for example, if a polar bear dies from fire damage, it will not cook their drops of food. If a polar bear does find themselves on fire, they will quickly rush and dive into nearby water to save themselves from further fiery harm. A cub will also do the same. You can force a polar bear to follow you by using a lead. Doing so with an adult accompanied by a cub won't prevent them from attacking. If you're playing on peaceful difficulty, polar bears will deal no damage, and unfortunately don't naturally spawn as frequently as many other mobs, may be coded that way due to their current real-world endangered status. As I'm a huge lover of animals in general, I'd quickly like to raise some real-life awareness for these beautiful creatures and how starvation is slowly killing their race, which is a horrible way to go, not only for the adults, but their cubs too. So if you're interested in their well-being and ultimately their future, I've provided a link in the description providing ways that you can help them out. That brings us to the end of this rather short episode, but as usual, we cannot wrap it up without a trivia question. Do polar bears perform a shake animation shortly after exiting water?